Welcome, gents. Real doesn't beg to be noticed, it just can't be ignored. That's the quiet truth behind why so many women gravitate towards Sigma males, even when they have other options lined up. Sigma males don't chase attention, they don't adjust who they are just to be liked, and that alone makes them stand out. In a world full of loud personalities, fake confidence, and constant competition, the Sigma male is the man who moves differently. He's not trying to be impressive, he simply is. Not because he brags, but because everything he does has weight. His time, his silence, his presence, they all carry meaning. And women notice that without being told to. The reason women choose Sigma males isn't about looks, status, or charm. It's about how they feel around them. They feel seen without being judged, safe without being smothered. They're drawn in not by what he says, but by what he doesn't need to say. Sigma males have nothing to prove, and that, ironically, proves everything. If you're a Sigma male or growing into one, remember this: your difference is not a flaw, it's your power. The world may not always understand you, but the right people will feel you. You don't need to compete with louder voices. You just need to stay rooted in who you are. Women with depth will always choose presence over performance. Stay true, stay grounded. Let your life speak louder than your words ever could. Let's get started, gents. Number 1, he doesn't need to prove he's a man. His actions do the talking. That's the kind of energy that can't be faked. You won't hear him going around saying, "I'm a real man," or trying to flex his toughness in public. He's not obsessed with appearing strong because he already knows he is. His confidence doesn't come from loud words or trying to dominate others. It comes from how he handles life, even when no one is watching. A Sigma male is the kind of man who moves with quiet certainty. He doesn't post his every achievement online or need applause just to feel worthy. You'll see it in how he treats people, how he keeps his word, how he stays calm under pressure. When a situation gets difficult, he doesn't run, he handles it. When he's hurt, he processes it. He doesn't throw tantrums or point fingers. He solves the problem, learns from it, and keeps moving, and women notice that. They may not always be able to explain it, but they feel it. There's a calm strength in him that doesn't need to shout to be felt. It's in the way he takes care of his responsibilities. It's in how he listens more than he talks. It's in how he protects his peace without having to prove anything to anyone. Think about a guy who doesn't make big promises, but he always shows up. A man who never says, "Trust me," but his consistency earns it anyway. That's the kind of man who stands out. Not because he tries to, but because his life naturally sets him apart. He's not interested in image. He's focused on reality. And when you live like that, you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. People feel it without you saying a word. That's real strength. That's what makes him unforgettable. Number 2, he's not looking for someone to fix. He's looking for someone who gets it. That alone sets the Sigma male apart. In a world where so many people confuse emotional chaos with depth, he sees through it all. He's not the type to be drawn to a woman just because she's intense or unpredictable. That may work on others, but not on him. He's lived enough life to know that constant drama is not love, it's exhaustion with a pretty mask. A Sigma male doesn't fall for the idea of being a hero in someone else's broken story. He doesn't want to feel needed just because someone else can't stand on their own. He's not out here looking to rescue anyone. Why? Because he's already rescued himself. He's walked through the fire of his own mistakes, healed the wounds most men run from, and built a solid foundation from scratch. And now that he's stable, he's not going back into emotional quicksand for the sake of romance. He's looking for something real. A woman who is self-aware enough to call herself out. Someone who's not perfect but is doing the work. Someone who has grown tired of games and ready to grow further with someone equally grounded. That kind of connection hits different. It's not loud, but it's deep. It's not flashy, but it's real. Picture a woman who doesn't need to be constantly reassured, who knows how to sit with her own silence, who's been through her own storms and came out with clarity. That's the woman who captures a Sigma's attention, not because she needs him, but because she understands him. A Sigma male wants partnership, not projects. He wants peace, not performance. He's not trying to save anyone. He just wants to meet someone who's already done the inner work, someone who gets it and wants to keep growing together. Number 3, he's deeply present but never clings. That right there is one of the most confusing yet magnetic things about a Sigma male. When he's with you, he's really with you. He's not scrolling through his phone while pretending to listen. He's not half distracted or giving you surface-level responses. He gives you his full attention, and it feels like you're the only person that matters in that moment. That kind of presence is rare, and it catches people off guard. But here's the twist. He doesn't hold on too tightly. He won't beg for more time or chase something that feels off. If the energy shifts and the connection starts to feel fake or forced, he doesn't argue, he just lets it go. No drama, no long speeches, he just exits quietly and completely. This balance is what messes with people in the best way. He makes you feel seen in a way few people can. He creates space for you to be real without judgment or pressure. And because of that, you want more. But at the same time, you know you can't take him for granted. You can't just give him crumbs and expect him to stay. Imagine sitting across from someone who isn't distracted by their own ego, who doesn't rush to respond, who actually hears you. That's the kind of moment people remember. But imagine that same person getting up and walking away without bitterness the second they feel disrespected or drained. That hits different. A Sigma male doesn't stay out of fear of being alone. He stays if it feels real, and when it doesn't, he moves on with grace. That's not detachment, that's self-respect. And ironically, it's this ability to be fully present without being needy that draws people in even more. It leaves them wondering, who is this man and how do I get back in his world? Number 4, his ambition is not loud. It's lethal. You won't find a Sigma male constantly talking about what he's going to do. He's not one to post every little milestone or brag about goals he hasn't achieved yet. While others are busy making noise, he's already working quietly, relentlessly, strategically. And that's what makes his ambition so dangerous. It's not flashy, but it's real. He's not trying to impress anyone with talk. He lets results speak. And when they do, they speak loud enough for everyone. One day he's in the background minding his business. The next, he's built something solid that people can't ignore. Whether it's his career, his craft, his mindset, or his entire life, what he builds carries weight because it was never rushed or performed. It was earned. Women notice that kind of energy instantly. There's a massive difference between a man with dreams and a man who's quietly executing them. A man who doesn't need to convince you of his value because his lifestyle already reflects it. It's not about status, it's about substance. And Sigma males bring that in full. Think about it. While some guys spend time telling everyone they're going to be great one day, the Sigma is already becoming great in silence. He's not interested in being hyped up. He's interested in building something that lasts. And when women come across that, it changes the dynamic completely. They're not aligning with empty promises. They're not falling for charm that fades under pressure. They're connecting with power, real power, the kind that's earned in the dark and revealed in the light. He doesn't seek applause. He seeks mastery. And that kind of ambition, it doesn't just attract women. It humbles them. Because when you meet a man who's already doing the work, you realize he's not potential. He's already progress. Number 5, he breaks expectations without trying to be unpredictable. That's the quiet brilliance of a Sigma male. He's not out here trying to shock people or stand out just for the sake of it. He's not rebellious to get a reaction. He just lives by his own internal compass. And that alone is enough to throw people off in a way that's both confusing and irresistible. Most people live on autopilot. They follow patterns. They say what's expected, do what's normal, and behave in ways they've seen 100 times before. So when a woman meets a man who doesn't follow that script, her brain doesn't know what to do at first. He's polite, but not performative. He's confident without needing the spotlight. He doesn't play hard to get. He is hard to get because he's genuinely selective. Take dating, for example. While others rush to impress, he asks real questions and actually listens to the answers. He doesn't pretend to be busy just to seem important. If he's interested, he shows it. If he's not, he doesn't fake it. That level of honesty is unusual, and women feel it immediately. It throws off the usual rhythm of games and guessing. What makes him even more unpredictable is that he has nothing to prove. He's not trying to win you over or outshine anyone else. He's just being real. And that realness hits like a curveball in a world full of rehearsed lines and shallow attention-seeking. It's not just about being different. It's about being free from the need to fit into anyone else's idea of what a man should be. And that freedom, it's intriguing. It makes women lean in, wanting to understand him more, not because he's confusing, but because he's clear in a way most people aren't. He's not a puzzle. He's a man who refuses to be predictable. And that alone makes him unforgettable. Number 6. He won't compete for her time, and somehow that earns it. A Sigma male doesn't put himself in a position where he's just another option on a woman's list. He refuses to operate like he's auditioning for someone's attention. While other men are doing backflips trying to stand out, he stands still, calm, composed, and completely unfazed. And that alone makes him stand out without even trying. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. He knows what he brings to the table, and he's not about to convince someone to notice it. If she sees it, great. If she doesn't, he'll keep it moving. That kind of detachment is rare, and women feel it the moment they come across it. It's not indifference, it's self-respect. Picture a woman who's used to men constantly texting her, trying to outdo each other just for a few minutes of her time. Then she meets a man who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, and doesn't play into that dynamic. He's polite, even warm, but his energy says clearly, I'm not here to compete. And that confuses her in the best way possible. She starts to wonder, why isn't he trying like the others? That curiosity quickly becomes interest, because deep down everyone wants someone who values themselves enough not to beg. A Sigma male doesn't view connection as a competition. If it clicks, it clicks. If it doesn't, he won't force it. And that's why women lean in. They can sense that he's not desperate. He's intentional. He's not trying to win her over. He's watching to see if the connection is even worth his time. When you don't fight for someone's attention, but they find themselves giving it to you anyway, that's power. That's what a Sigma male embodies. He doesn't chase value. He is the value. Number 7, he listens to understand, not to respond. That might sound simple, but in today's world, it's almost unheard of. Most people only half listen. They're waiting for their turn to speak, to defend, to prove, or to impress. But the Sigma male, he listens with intention. He's not just hearing words, he's picking up on tone, pauses, shifts in energy, and everything that isn't being said out loud. When you talk to him, you feel something different. There's no rush, no interrupting, no trying to top your story. He gives you space to speak your truth without filtering it to suit his ego. He's not planning a clever reply while you talk. He's right there with you, absorbing every detail. And that kind of presence is powerful. Women pick up on it instantly. They're used to being half heard or rushed through their sentences. But when they speak to a Sigma male, it feels like he's actually listening, not just to respond, but to understand. That creates a level of connection that most people don't even realize they're missing until they experience it. And because he listens so deeply, when he does speak, his words hit hard. They're thoughtful, deliberate, and often cut straight to the heart of the matter. He can read between the lines and reflect something back that even the speaker didn't fully realize. That ability to understand on a deeper level makes his presence feel rare. He's not just in the room, he's tuned in, not to manipulate, not to impress, but to really get it. In a world full of noise, the Sigma male listens quietly but with depth. And that quiet understanding, it builds trust, it builds respect. And for many women, it's exactly what makes him unforgettable. Number 8, he doesn't perform masculinity, he embodies it. That right there is what separates a Sigma male from the crowd. In a world where too many men are busy acting tough, he just is. There's no need for him to talk about being alpha. He's not throwing around words like dominance or power to sound impressive. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. His presence speaks for itself. The thing about the Sigma male is this: he's not trying to be masculine by society's standards. He's not obsessed with status, muscles, or being louder than the next guy. He doesn't feel the need to flash money or control the room just to feel like a man. His masculinity is quiet but solid. You feel it when he walks with purpose, when he listens without reacting, when he handles stress with calm instead of chaos. Imagine a guy who's in the background while everyone else is busy showing off. He's not the one posting selfies with expensive stuff. He's not trying to impress people he doesn't respect. But the way he moves, the way he handles problems, the way he stays grounded, even when things get messy. It's powerful, it's controlled, it's real. Women can sense the difference. They know the difference between someone pretending to be strong and someone who actually is. They know when confidence is real, not rehearsed, and that's why the Sigma male stands out without even trying. He doesn't talk about leadership. He leads himself. He doesn't demand respect. He earns it by how he carries himself every single day. There's no performance here, no borrowed lines or forced behavior, just a man who knows who he is, stands by it, and lives with quiet confidence. And in a world full of noise, that kind of real masculinity, it's rare, it's grounded, and it's unforgettable. Number 9. He's a mirror women didn't ask for but can't stop looking into. A Sigma male has a way of seeing people that goes beyond the surface. He doesn't get distracted by appearances or sweet talk. He's not interested in playing the nice guy or saying what someone wants to hear just to be liked. He listens, observes, and quietly picks up on what others try to hide, even from themselves. And when it comes to women, this hits hard. Most men will either flatter them or avoid anything too real just to keep the peace. But not him. He won't lie to protect someone's ego. He won't stay silent just to keep things easy. He'll speak the truth if it matters, and often he doesn't even need to say much. His energy alone reflects back what's real. That's why women often feel both drawn and slightly unsettled around him, because with him there's no pretending. If she's acting like she's fine but carrying a storm inside, he sees it. If she's used to being admired for how she looks but hiding parts of who she is, he notices. He doesn't call it out to shame her. He just sees it. And that level of being seen is both terrifying and magnetic. He's not trying to change her. He's just showing her who she really is, through his presence, through his honesty, through his refusal to play along with what's fake. And once a woman experiences that kind of reflection, it's hard to forget. Because for maybe the first time someone didn't chase her, didn't flatter her, didn't mold himself to fit her. He simply held up a mirror, and even if it rattles her, even if she's not ready for it, she'll remember him. Because he didn't sell her a dream, he handed her the truth. And deep down, that's what we all want, even when we don't ask for it. Number 10. He creates an emotional climate where women feel safe to drop the act. There's something different about being around a Sigma male. He's not judging. He's not trying to impress. He's not expecting anyone to entertain him or live up to some fantasy. He's just there, calm, grounded, fully himself. And that kind of steady presence changes everything. When a woman is around him, she doesn't feel like she has to keep performing. She doesn't feel the pressure to always be charming, put together, or emotionally polished. She can stutter mid-sentence. She can admit she's unsure. She can stop smiling if she doesn't feel like it. And the best part? He doesn't flinch. He doesn't make it weird. He just holds the space like it's the most normal thing in the world. Because he's so rooted in who he is, she doesn't feel like she needs to be perfect. She starts to relax. Let her guard down and be herself in ways she probably hasn't done in a long time. It might start with small things, an unfiltered opinion, a raw emotion, or even a goofy moment she usually hides. And instead of recoiling, he leans in, not physically, but emotionally, with attention, with acceptance. That kind of connection is rare. Most people don't even know they're performing until they meet someone who makes them stop. He doesn't demand realness, he invites it, just by being real himself. And here's what's beautiful about that. When a woman finally feels safe enough to be awkward, honest, or even a little messy, and she's still met with calm acceptance, she doesn't feel weak. She feels seen. She feels free. With a Sigma male, the emotional stage lights go off, the mask comes off, and she doesn't feel exposed. She feels human. And in today's world, that kind of space feels like oxygen. Number 11. He doesn't get emotionally drunk off flattery or seduction. A Sigma male isn't the kind of man you can bait with compliments or lure with charm. He's not wired to fall for pretty words or carefully packaged seduction. He sees through it, quickly and clearly, and that alone makes him incredibly hard to manipulate. It's not that he doesn't appreciate beauty or enjoy affection, he just doesn't get hooked by it. Most men, when a beautiful woman shows them attention or flatters them, instantly shift into pursuit mode. They forget their standards, their priorities, sometimes even their dignity. But the Sigma male stays rooted. He doesn't start performing. He doesn't become emotionally dizzy just because someone noticed him. That's because he knows the difference between real connection and temporary validation. He's not starving for attention, so he doesn't need to eat whatever is served. You can flirt with him, praise him, even tempt him, but if there's no substance behind it, he's out. He's not rude about it, he just doesn't invest where there's no depth. And women pick up on that fast. It flips the usual dynamic. Suddenly, the attention they're used to getting without effort isn't enough. They realize that to really hold his interest, they have to show up fully. No games, no masks, no empty flirting. They have to bring depth, honesty, curiosity, self-awareness, the real stuff. Because with a Sigma, there's no surface-level access pass. You either step into something real or you don't get in at all. And that's what makes him powerful. not just because he sets the bar high, but because he refuses to lower it for anyone pretending to be more than they are. He doesn't chase flattery. He doesn't fall for seduction. He waits for truth. And that's why his presence can't be faked, and his attention can't be bought. Number 12, he disrupts the female fantasy of control. Most women are used to being in emotional control without even realizing it. They know how to steer conversations, nudge feelings, and keep men orbiting around their attention. Not in a cruel way, but in a way that keeps them feeling secure and in charge. With most men, this works. A flirty smile, a well-timed text, a cold shoulder, it's enough to pull strings. But then she meets the Sigma, and suddenly none of it works. He doesn't chase when she pulls away. He doesn't get flustered by silence. He doesn't lean in just because she leaned out. He's calm. He's still. And most importantly, he's not emotionally available for manipulation. Not because he's playing some reverse psychology game, but because he doesn't move unless it feels real. That unshakable stillness disrupts everything she thought she understood about control. When she tries to test him, he doesn't respond. When she tries to push buttons, there are no buttons to push. And the moment she realizes she can't pull him into her usual emotional patterns, one of two things happens. She either steps into her real self, or she walks away. And that's what makes him so disarming. He's not refusing to play to be difficult. He's refusing because the game itself is pointless to him. He doesn't need emotional leverage. He needs truth. He needs peace. He needs connection that isn't powered by ego, pride, or power plays. This forces a kind of honesty most women rarely have to offer right away. And strangely enough, that honesty becomes addictive. Because for once, they're not the one orchestrating. They're being seen without manipulation, without masks, without emotional tricks. He can't be controlled, and that, ironically, is what makes him so unforgettable. In final words, when you know who you are, you stop trying to prove it. That's the quiet strength of a Sigma male. He doesn't compete. He doesn't beg for space. He is the space. And in a world overflowing with noise, attention-seeking, and image maintenance, that kind of calm, unshakable presence is rare and magnetic. Women don't choose Sigma males because they're flashy or trendy. They choose them because they feel something real, something that doesn't require translation or persuasion. A Sigma does not try to sell himself. He lives in alignment with what he values, and that authenticity pulls people in more powerfully than any charm ever could. He is not in the business of fixing brokenness, nor is he drawn to perform for anyone's applause. He stands where he is, unbothered by approval and uninterested in control. That is what makes him powerful. That is what makes him different. And if you're a Sigma male or becoming one, remember this. There is nothing wrong with being misunderstood. There is no weakness in walking your path alone for a while. Your clarity will confuse people. Your peace will threaten those addicted to chaos. Your silence will say more than 1,000 clever words, but don't fold, don't shrink, don't trade depth for popularity. Women with options don't fall for Sigma males because of games. They stay because of the peace he offers, the truth he holds, and the energy he refuses to waste. His presence feels like home, not because he decorates it with sweet words, but because he builds it with integrity. You are not here to impress. You are here to become. Keep becoming. Thank you for watching, Gents, and God bless you.